Hello. Welcome to another Thursday Night Magic. Tonight featuring the Brawl format in all its flavors.
Aw, heck yeah.
Yeah. I'm Clifford. With me tonight is Rogue Link. Rogue Link, how are you tonight?
I'm doing fantastic. I discovered Rakdos, Cauldron Familiar, Witch's Oven shenanigans over the past week, so I've been playing that a ton because it's so my thing.
It's like one of those that's so far up your alley, it's in your garage.
Basically, yeah. It's more like grindy control than I'm used to playing, but like, oh man, it feels real weird for me to grind out a match, but it's doing everything I want to do.
Well, that's good. I'm glad you found a deck that you're enjoying. I've still been playing a lot of that green-black Adventure Knights because, you know, there's one thing I've learned, it's a 1/1 for 1 that says when you cast a creature spell, draw a card. It's pretty powerful.
Yeah, that's a pretty good effect.
But anyway, we're not so focused on Standard tonight as we are Brawl, where you can get your commander and, you know, have fun with the singleton format of Magic.
Yeah, and Brawl is real nice. It's a shame that you can only play Brawl on Wednesdays on Arena. No idea why they made that decision, but hopefully it'll become a more consistent format. Just want play Brawl. Just play Brawl is all I want.
Always leave them wanting more.
Exactly. And it could be one of those formats where, you know, they're afraid that if they offer it all the time, people will immediately get sick of it and it'll lose some of its charm. Like, I know a lot of people that want Singleton just up all the time. And I think it'll honestly be fine. I think if it was like 2 days a week, it'd be fine. Or if they had like 7 specialty formats and there was one a day, or like
that would be cool.
2 or 3 specialty formats and it just rotated every other day between those, like Singleton, Brawl, or something else, I would really get down with that.
The Rumble Pit, if you will.
Oh, that'd be good. They just like historic Singleton and Brawl. They just call it the Rumble Pit, and it's always on rotation.
That would be great. You could even throw like Pauper in there.
Pauper would be. I think they've done Pauper events, right?
Yeah, they have. They just did what they called it Artisan, which was commons and uncommons.
Oh yeah, I remember that. Artisan's interesting because you get a lot of because uncommons are a lot of the build around these. I find, you know, they're not flooding your draft deck, but you get enough of them where you can kind of expect them and, you know, go from there.
Yes.
But yeah, I love me some build around me uncommons.
Speaking of build around me uncommons, while we wait, I had a wonderful Omniscience draft today before everything broke and they had to shut it down for a while.
What?
Well, I don't know. Something on the client broke with the Omniscience draft. They had to turn it off. If you don't know what the Omniscience draft is, it's you draft your deck and then can cast all your spells for free, as if you had Omniscience in play. And I ended up with 2 Season of Growths.
Oh no!
And I was casting Threaten, whatever the new Threaten is, Act of Treason, on my own creatures to draw 2 cards instead of stealing my opponent's creatures. It was great.
That's really stupid, but I love it.
It was wonderful.
Yeah, I haven't done any of those drafts for a while. I honestly haven't drafted on Arena in a while. I've mostly just been spending all of my gold on packs, which I really should start saving money for drafting again, because I find 90% of the time I have enough wild cards to build the decks I want to build. And I'm never the type to, experiment with the meta or go really deep with expensive sideboard cards or.
I just love to draft.
Drafting is a lot of fun. It's super fun. Like the new mystery boosters that they're doing at the Magic Fest. Those seem really interesting. I'm curious to see what's in them. I saw some stuff where people were saying it was these really weird, almost prototype style cards, but I don't want to put too much stock in that. On a related note, speaking of new cards, new packs, I cannot wait to start seeing new Theros stuff. I know we just got into this format,
it should be
but
good times.
Yeah, like I know we just got into this format, but I came back to Magic with original Theros, and that was one of my favorite sets of all time. Like Triple Theros is probably my favorite draft format.
Oh, triple. I didn't draft Triple Theros.
Oh, it's good. You haven't lived until you've double garried someone.
I did draft a lot of Triple Champions of Kamigawa. That's one of my favorite draft formats of all time.
Oh, and it looks like we're kicking off.
We are getting started. We have Trostani Discordant on the top, and Yarok the Desecrated on the bottom.
Yeah, I ended up playing against a Yarok the Desecrated with my Brawl deck, which is great because I have a Taya deck, which doubles all of your death triggers, and the Desecrated doubles all of your enter the battlefield triggers. So my deck going against their deck was all sorts of weird fun.
All of the best weird fun. That's the best part about Brawl or any commander-based format to me. Like all the weird, wacky, fun things that can happen just with all the interesting singleton interactions.
Right. And I think I like Brawl, at least currently, I like Brawl a little better than Commander, just because you have the context of Standard for building stuff, so you don't have to worry about your group maintaining your own power level, otherwise someone's going to have a bad time.
That's very, very much fun. Because, yeah, all it takes is one person to go, spend $2,000 on a mana base. But you could still do that in Standard, but it'd take you a while and wouldn't be worth it. Unless you really just want to have 150 copies of Watery Grave.
So Amethyst going pretty big with these green creatures. Not to mention the fact that if that knight dies, it's just going to split up into a couple soldiers. Trying to figure out what Friday's game plan is. It seems to be a proliferate style deck.
Yeah, well, Yarok makes everything, all your cool effects happen twice when for enter the battlefield. So I think at this point, Friday's plan is to try and survive at least another turn. I don't know if that's going to play out the way the way she's hoping, but
yeah, Amethyst got a really strong start.
Yeah, it was a very strong start on Amethyst's side.
Oh, but how many things are in the graveyard right now? Oh, not enough.
Not quite.
Because thanks to that enchantment, the knight is flying right now, but 4 power isn't going to be enough to take it down.
Yeah, 4 power, not quite enough to win that fight. And Johnny gonna buff the team, and that is likely going to do it for the game.
Yeah, Amethyst just coming out real strong. Getting their commander down pretty early as well.
And kaboom. There goes Friday Witch with a large attack from Amethyst's side.
Yeah, unfortunately, Friday not able to get enough of a board presence to just hold them off. I feel like they had a really good starting hand, had a lot of fantastic enter the battlefield effects, had a lot of enter the battlefield effects that would really have worked together, but just couldn't quite get that board presence fast enough, which is a shame, because I think if that hand cooked off, it would have been real spicy.
All right, so now let's get the next pair of players together. Up next, we're going to have Ryko Rider and Algernon featuring the historic brawl. So it's not just locked behind the standard as we were just talking about.
Yes, I believe in Arena they refer to it as friendly brawl, correct?
That might be correct. I'm honestly not 100% sure.
Yeah, I remember looking it up and being incredibly confused as to what this new drop-down option was. Yeah, brawl and friendly brawl, as well as traditional historic. So why they didn't just call it historic brawl, I have no idea. Because I think that the historic brawl actually tells you what the format is. Friendly brawl, not so much.
I mean, it's friendly. That's so. Historic. I mean, historic, friendly. They're kind of synonyms.
I mean, sure. I think the general idea of what they're doing is, which honestly makes sense, is you have, the friendly brawl, as in like, y'all are maintaining your own power level sort of thing, as opposed to standard brawl, which is maintained, by standard.
That makes sense. Because, there might be cards banned in historic that are allowed in brawl, in friendly brawl, right?
That's true. I wouldn't be surprised if Oku is allowed in friendly brawl, or there's just no bans whatsoever in friendly brawl.
Yes, I mean, Oku. Talk about a card that is certainly a card.
I think the best description I've heard about Oko is it's aggressively fair. Like, it doesn't do all that much, but it just synergizes so well with itself. It gets so absurd. It doesn't do one thing.
This show is now a 3/3 elk.
Yeah, exactly. Speed gaming is now an elk.
Yes. Everything is now an elk.
Although I did see a great post where, so if anyone's downloaded or updated Arena recently, there was a screen that just said Oku is banned in Brawl. Just like this really nice, elegant screen that just right in the middle says Oku is banned in Brawl. And I saw someone on Twitter say, "Wow, thanks Arena for my new favorite background. It's simple, elegant, and it says exactly what I need to hear." I laughed really hard when I saw that the first time.
Ugh. You know, Oku is not the problem. This is the problem, right? Wait, I don't.
Well, one of them got banned.
Planeswalkers.
One of them didn't.
Well, I mean, I would talk just in standard in general.
Yeah, I think it's funny how Oku got banned faster in standard, and or got banned faster in Brawl than standard. And since they're doing so many iterations of Pioneer, I think it'd also be really funny if Oku gets banned in Pioneer faster than he gets banned in standard. Although Pioneer has way more answers to way more things than standard does, so. Yeah, Teferi's passive. I always forget about Teferi's passive. I have scooped no less than 10 times because I forgot about Teferi's passive. Just like, it's okay, I've got this line that gets me out of it.
Yeah, it's a beautiful line of play. It just happens at the end of their turn. Wait a minute. My combat trick. Why can't I cast my combat trick? Oh, right. Yeah.
Yeah. He forces you to play poorly, which is awkward. Just like, I'm going to use this instant on my first main phase, pre-combat, warning you of everything. You're welcome.
So, as we can see here on Raikou Rider's side, oops, all creatures. Like,
I dig it. I have drafted that deck, the oops all creatures deck. The like shuffle, 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 shuffle. I have no instants or sorceries. Well, let's get pure creature value.
I wonder if this is breakfast time.
Yeah, Teferi is really rough. I honestly haven't gone up against Oko all that much personally. But yeah, he doesn't do any like one thing super powerfully. He just synergizes so well. Honestly, I think if Oko was a 4-drop, he'd be very, very balanced. But 3-drop Planeswalkers have a habit of just being really good. Just in general.
Or even just +1, -1.
Oh, yeah.
Or like not +2, +1. For 3 mana. Like,
yeah, like
there's so many other ways that it's like oh well.
Yeah, honestly, my favorite Planeswalkers are the ones that don't have a big game finisher like negative. It's like +2, -1, -3, or something like that.
I like those too.
And it looks like we're kicking this off. We've got Oops All Creatures versus Tyjek. Which, oh man, I like where both of these decks are going.
Going to see lots of creatures in this game, I would think.
Oh yeah.
Paradise Druid, happy that Chain Whirler has rotated. Not that matters in this historic game.
It's true, Chain Whirler could be anywhere. Also, Carnage Tyrant, haven't even thought about Carnage Tyrant in ages. It hasn't even been that long since Carnage Tyrant has left the format, and it feels like it's been forever.
No, it's been what, 8 weeks? Like something
Has
like
it
that.
actually been 2 months?
it's getting right about. Yeah, when did it come out in September?
Oh,
I
we've
guess
got a
I
big
guess
pig.
I guess it's only been 4 weeks. Don't mind me. The big
Oh,
pig.
man. The big pig is probably like, I really like all of the gods, but big pig is such a good effect. Every turn you can pick a creature from your hand, cast it for free, and then return it to your hand. Great for things like, oh, I don't know, a meteor golem.
It's also wonderful when you have a Nikia that can, double all the mana that you could make to spend on creatures.
Oh, and a Palaka Worm. I love where this is going. I want to see this boar come down as soon as possible.
Well, there it is. Roar.
Yeah, that's fair. Holy moly.
All right, there's another quick game.
Raikou getting some real big beefy creatures.
Yeah, some very.
And the boar, that boar was gonna be messy. That first, I probably would have scooped after that first Palaka Worm play, for sure.
All right, so with that, we will get our next game sorted out. Hold on one second.
Yeah, lots of fast games. Which the Brawl games last week were definitely pretty much what you would expect from 25 life games. Today they have been way faster. People, I think it kind of makes sense though. People have had a little bit more familiarity with the format. They've gotten some testing in, a couple of Brawl events under everybody's belt.
Yeah, more time to play with things and try them out.
So definitely, a little bit more experience. And I wouldn't be surprised if the more these that we do, the more, maybe not the more aggressive the decks become, but the more efficient the decks become for sure.
Yeah, that's the big thing. Efficiency and more synergetic.
And that's what I really love about the adventure cards, is every single one of those things is a fantastic 2-for-1. Fantastic, fantastic 2-for-1.
They're very fantastic 2-for-1s. Like, sometimes even more so if you've got a Lucky Clover or an Innkeeper, they just get even better. The adventure cards are some of my favorite things that have been printed in a long time.
So we have more ETB shenanigans from Friday with, I'm not super familiar with Raikou's commander.
It's certainly an angel that does things. An angel of rebirth.
Yeah, speaking of angels, I really wish that Mardu that gets bonuses for angels, demons, and dragons. I wish there were more cheaper angels, demons, or dragons.
So, Rien, Angel of Rebirth, flies. It's a flying 5/4 for 5. It gives other multicolored creatures you control +1/+0. And whenever another multicolored creature you control dies, return it to its owner's hand at the beginning of the next end step.
Oh, that sounds fantastic.
So-
Although I'm seeing a lot of monocolored creatures in Raiku's hand, but I'm also seeing... But the monocolored creatures are pure value now that I look for more than 2 seconds. Like that Thorn Mammoth, real good.
And we have an Ugin that is sending the commander back to the command zone.
But fortunately, that Swift Blade able to get Ugin out of the way ASAP.
Ugin trading with the commander, kind of. That's how it. And now Grumgully, which adds more +1/+1 counters to your multicolored things. Or no, your non-human things.
And here we go. ETB shenanigans are starting soon. Oh, and the Spellbreaker. That's another card I haven't thought about in way too long.
Spellbreaker's awesome.
It's another one of those cards on the list of, oh, right.
Right, I can build a deck around that. Wait.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I can't tell you how many times I've tried doing, oh, shoot. The exile all attacking creatures. Settle the Wreckage.
Settle the Wreckage.
How many times Spellbreaker has just ruined Settle the Wreckage for me?
That's a card I haven't thought about in a while. Settle the Wreckage.
Yeah, Settle was in so many of my decks. Basically every mono white deck had Settle.
It makes sense. It's a very powerful card. And that Embercleave, giving things double strike. It's a very aggressive Grumgully.
Yeah, Raikou has a lot of double strike here, which is nice.
So,
uh-oh.
The Agent of Treachery, getting 2 triggers because of the Yarok, just says, hey, that's your Embercleave and your Grumgully? No, those are my Embercleave and my Grumgully.
Realmcloak Giant coming down on an adventure, though. Just wiping that board state. Getting everything clean and fresh. Love that animation, by the way.
It's a wonderful animation. Just, let's clear off the board and flip the table a little bit.
Troll King coming down. Another very efficient green creature from Eldraine.
Decisions on Raikou Rider's side. We're going to see the Discordant come out. Bring with it a couple of soldiers. And the Embercleave getting attached to the king.
That's going to be one crazy creature to deal with, because that double strike trample, like anytime you can get double strike trample, it's a good day. Only thing better than double strike trample is trample death touch.
That's a little painful coming through. Well, why not all 3?
We're not questing beast here. We're trying to be reasonable. And
Fair.
There we go. Friday taking the game.
Friday taking it, beating Raikou Rider with his own Embercleave. That's the way it goes sometimes.
Have you ever just been so mad you took someone's Embercleave and beat them in the face with it?
All right. So, since game one went so quickly, let's get a rematch of that going together, huh? Why not?
Yeah, a lot of really spicy, aggressive games. And honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if just a slightly different starting hand could have a very different deck. Or have a very different game with some of these decks that we've seen tonight. Agreed, Chad. York is very silly.
Yes. Very, very silly. Jarl.
The best kind of silly.
I've alerted the players that we're ready for them.
And it looks like we're ready to go.
Indeed, it does.
And last time we were mostly watching Friday's perspective in this match, correct?
We were indeed.
Oh, Knight of Autumn, fantastic card. Smothering Tithe, also really good. Yeah, I'm really fond of this hand. Honestly, I just really like Healer's Hawk. I don't know if I overvalue it, but it goes in almost every single one of my aggressive decks. It's got evasion.
Card.
It's really good at just getting you that extra little bit of life, especially if it can come down on turn one. It holds a sword really well.
It can hold lots of things in that beak. Can hold an Embercleave in the beak of the hawk.
We need more swords in standard. What could go wrong? But looking at the other side, we've got Meteor Golem, Krasis, Casualties of War. It's going to be pretty devastating.
Yes, it's going to be... Can Friday live long enough to cast some of those higher cost spells?
Well, I think Amethyst doesn't have the fastest hand, honestly. Like, it's not going to be as much of a powerhouse as it was last time. The Healer's Hawk is definitely going to inch out some ground a little bit. And the Smothering Tithe is going to be really good for getting that mana. But I think Friday will be able to stabilize sooner than later, especially if there's a well-timed Meteor Golem or a little bit of extra ramp.
So, Fabled Passage, another one of those fun new cards from Eldraine that I really, really enjoy. It's like the best kind of Terramorphic Expanse.
Oh, and the Wanderer's Strike. When you absolutely need to exile a thing.
It's
And then
when you-
also proliferate.
You know, sometimes you just want to have another counter for your Knight of Autumn.
Yeah, this Knight of Autumn's getting pretty big, too.
And the Healer's Hawk getting the boost and dealing damage with toughness.
Hopefully Friday can stabilize here. They have at least one bit of elk potential.
I think we're going to see the casualties of war play.
Oh, good call. Let's see if that's going to be the case. There we go. Artifact, creature, enchantment. Very spicy.
That gets things a little more manageable from Friday Witch's side.
That Healer's Hawk still eking out a little bit of value.
That's what you started talking about. It. The Healer's Hawk is just pure value.
I do like Healer's Hawk.
The thing for Amethyst is still 4 lands. He's still stuck on 4 lands.
Friday flying, getting that blocker for that Healer's Hawk. And getting some extra card draw as well.
Yeah, getting the card draw with the Tithe on the other side.
Yeah, fortunately for Friday, Amethyst doesn't have a ton of cards in hand. They'll definitely be able to play that their commander, which has quite a bit of value. And then maybe the Ajani the turn after that.
Friday Witch keeps drawing cards, you know, we might just see.
Yeah, I expect Friday is either going to nuke something very important, like probably the 1/4, since that's currently pumping all of Amethyst's creatures, or getting a real big Krasis and trying to stabilize, get a nice big blocker.
Yeah, I could see that being a play at this point. With the Healer's Hawk getting just outside of Cloudkin Seer range.
That's kind of why I'm thinking you want to nuke the pump, because then you can start blocking the soldiers. Although it's going to be a trade, to be fair. Lots of value.
Alright, here comes Yarok.
Getting that commander back down.
Gaining some life and proliferating a little bit. Nothing to proliferate. I mean, there are things to proliferate, but nothing to...
Nothing Friday wants to proliferate. Let's go with that.
Yeah, definitely. Alright, now Ajani giving all the creatures vigilance. Making it no downside to attack.
Fortunately, one of those soldiers is going to be going away here. But Amethyst is going to be able to gain a lot of life with this swing.
Yes, lots of life gained. Yarok still on the board for Friday Witch, which is the most important thing.
Right. Friday's going to be getting a lot of value here. Even just playing that Meteor Golem is going to nuke 2 things, which is going to be huge. I could see them playing pretty much anything here.
Yeah, it's like the Golem nuke a couple of things. Could just gain some life with the...
Wait, is this an ETB? This is an ETB effect? Oh man, I didn't even think of that line.
Hey, draw some cards while...
And also nuking things with the Golem, it seems.
Seems fine to me.
Problem is that Elk is still a 5/5, so York can't block it. But let's see, I'm guessing the Soldier and the Healer's Hawk are going to get nuked here.
That seems reasonable.
Gotta start peeling away at those lifelink creatures.
You can just peel away at some of the creatures. Then, no cards in hand. Stabilization begins. The Healer's Hawk had to go because, flying. You can't deal with the flyer. But now we have a board state, 51-9. What a... Well, now things are getting bigger.
Yeah, this is going to be probably a pretty reasonable block for Friday. The Meteor Golem's done their job. And you really don't want to kill that commander, because right now it's not pumping anything. And Amethyst definitely has enough treasure tokens to just snap that back onto the battlefield right away.
Yeah, now there's all sorts of decisions. Decisions. On Friday's side, handful of cards, 12 life. What's the best way to get out of that 12 life situation?
Well, we've got a real big Krasis, which is going to help. We've got the new Garruk, which is going to be great. Get a bunch of wolves, which are going to start chump blocking against the 7/7. Because that's definitely something Friday needs right now, is a bunch of chump blockers. The Ooze is also going to help a lot with those chump blockers.
And that is not going to help Amethyst.
And mana is not the problem that Amethyst has right now.
We are turning 7/7 sideways, and they are running into wolves.
Fortunately, they're vanilla 7/7s, and it's just going to help boost the Garruk.
And that's a 7th treasure token, but nothing to spend it on.
And here we go. We're going wide with the Ooze here. And Friday is going to have plenty of money to pump into that. Or plenty of mana.
Same thing, really, right? You can see it on the other side. The treasure tokens, treasure turns into mana.
I was just going to say, Amethyst has money to pay for things. Friday just has mana.
That's so true. Suddenly, Friday has an army. Just... Yo, the Bag of Holding. What a great card. So we see the Rabid Bite gets put in the bag.
Yeah, Amethyst at least has an option now to start digging for answers, and at 55 life, they're going to have a couple turns to find something, but Friday's going to be cracking in for ludicrous amounts of damage here.
Yes, there's a lot of damage on the battlefield for Friday, which...
Oh, wait, creatures you control get +3/+3? Never mind. I think that might just seal it here.
Oh, well, it definitely does now, with the Agent of Treachery taking all the blockers.
Oh, no! This is gonna be big.
Oh, didn't even take the blocker... Took the Bag of Holding.
It's got hexproof.
Oh, right.
To be fair, there is a mechanic for this.
That makes sense. You can't steal Paradise Druid that you can't target. That makes sense. And a great hinge for good measure.
So what is it? 4, 5, 7/7s, an 8/8, and a what is that? 3/5/5 wolves?
3/5/5 wolves. Another agent of treachery to steal more things. And now the attack comes in.
The big beefy swing. Blocking the 8/8. But I think that's still going to be enough to get him down. There
Negative
we
8
go.
from
55 to -8 with one giant swing.
Therein lies the power of the brawl.
That was a really good match. Stabilizing
was.
on 9 to
That's what
swing
you really
in
want to see.
for 60 plus damage.
Yeah, it's nothing like suing in for 63. Jeez.
That was nuts. just needed to get some of those Yarg triggers, and then the value just speaks for itself.
Yes, indeed. All right. Well, that is going to be the great way to end it for the night right there, I think. We will call it a night for another Thursday Night Magic. And if you liked seeing the historic brawl, the friendly brawl, next week we're going to feature, well, it's not going to be singleton, but it's going to be historic. If you want to think about those Settle the Wreckages and those Carnage Tyrants and dust them off a little bit, they've been hiding. Next week we're going to do Historic Constructed. So be sure to come out and spend the week getting your spicy builds together for that, because it's going to be good times.
Hey Clifford, what's that? Do you hear that? Oh, that's just Lyra saying hi.
Oh boy.
You know, the giant 5/5 angel with a lifelink.
Better
Everybody
Bane Slayer
loves.
Angel.
Ah, yep, that's the one.
Yeah, indeed. That'll be. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be fun.
Yeah,
We're really gonna see what, Dominaria plus Eldraine does. Maybe someone will make a super awesome night stack for me, please, somebody.
like maybe you'll see Command the Dread Horde with fun things, and also all the Explore cards. There's so many possibilities and options. But before
I'm looking
then,
forward to it.
before next week, this weekend is the Mythic Championship in Richmond. It's featuring the standard format, so if you want to see all the Elks running amok across standard, that's going to be good times. There'll also be drafting, so you can see all the cool tech on how to draft Eldraine in a format where the bots don't criminally underrate Merfolk Secret Keeper. Yeah, so I think we'll get out of here. We have, in just a few minutes on this channel, coming up Metroid Prime Randomizer. So be sure to stick around to watch that. And have a great week, everybody.
See you all next time.